Good evening, and you are welcome to Business and Enterprise. My name is Colm Colgan, and tonight's guest on the programme is Paul Laird, and he is the director of, I've given you your correct title there, of BNI, which is Business Network International. Assuming that I got your title right, we might say, first of all, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much indeed.
We might start off, before we talk about BNI and what it is, we might just talk about your own background, how you got involved and where you got your start in business.
Sure. Originally, I come from a sales and IT background, and I was involved with the sales process. In other words, how to train people and how to market businesses and that type of thing. I first got involved in BNI about 7 years ago, and what happened was I was working with a group of local people in Mullingar, and we set up a BNI chapter there. So I first became a member in BNI and worked with that chapter there in that group of people in Mullingar for 5 years or thereabouts, and just decided to get more involved in referral marketing and networking within the BNI organisation. So I'm now regional director with BNI with responsibility for 24 BNI groups consisting of almost 600 members now. So
you just mentioned there you got involved in the sales process.
Uh-huh.
In fairness, sales process, it is a bit of a kind of a hidden kind of factor in sales. Most people, in fact, when I suppose as well as being involved in TV, I'm also involved in radio. Because actually, you're grand, you're a salesman, you can talk, no bother. But people, as far as anyone is concerned, if you're involved in sales, you talk, bam, that's it. People do not realise the process that there is in sales.
Yes, and it's relevant to every business. There's definitely, you have to be able to promote your business and be able to promote your whatever it is that you're looking to sell, or whatever it is you do, your goods or services. And there is a process for that. All successful salespeople will certainly be trained in how to best sell, and but at times it can seem to be contrived. There's a hard sell as well, and there's different ways of being trained in that. I think what I found most was that word of mouth and referral marketing seemed to be a much more relationship-based type of marketing for businesses. And that's how I became involved in it.
So referral that's what BNI is. It's a referral marketing agency, company, organisation. Is organisation probably the best word to use there?
It probably is, yeah. BNI is a worldwide organisation. We are in business now for 27 years, 44 countries, with 136,000 members worldwide. This year so far in BNI, almost 2 billion euros in dollars figures, but if you want to relate that back to euros, have been generated between all its members worldwide. You say it's
27 years on the road. I assume it was started in the States?
Yes, founded by a man called Dr. Ivan Meisner. He is and was then a business consultant, working with a number of business people on how they might best grow their business. And through talking with them and looking back as to where the best business came from that they got, and how they were able to generate that, almost unanimously they all said that it came by referral. So in other words, by word of mouth, people recommending them. They found that that business was generally easier to close. It was very, very good business, and they then started to work on a strategy about how they might be able to increase it. How do I get more word of mouth business? How do I get more referrals? And they got onto the strategy of, for me to be able to generate business for you, I need to know what your business is. So it was all about getting to know each other on a much deeper level business wise, so that when first of all they were able to come across an opportunity for a referral for your business, they could talk about you and know what it is that they could say on your behalf, and actively look for referrals. So in other words, the concept of BNI is based on giver's gain.
Based on
giver's gain.
It's
an old philosophy. Yeah. If I give business to you, generally you will want to help me back and give me business back, and we all benefit in return from that.
Now, you mentioned there that how many billions or millions did you say business have been generated this year?
Just over 2 billion so far.
Just over 2 billion.
Yeah, worldwide.
Now, is that kind of a Michael Noonan figure off the top of his head, or how is that documented?
Well, in BNI we record everything in BNI. So in other words, at our BNI meetings, when these people meet, if they have a referral for somebody, they will generate a referral slip. So they give the name of the person that they're referring, the contact details of of who they're referring them to, and that's all recorded. We have a piece of software for that for all of our groups, so we know how many referrals are generated, and then in turn we have an opportunity again at the meeting for a person to thank the other person for that referral in monetary terms. So we record the amount of that referral may have been worth, and we can record the monetary value then as well.
So it's far from a couple of lads meeting for an early morning breakfast and a bit of a chat and saying, I know you're a good painter, my pal up the road needs his house painted, give him a shout, and away you go. It's more documented and it's more regimented than that.
Well, yeah, it's structured.
Structured,
yeah.
Well.
So we have, at the meetings there is an agenda that's followed, and there are obviously opportunities for each member to just remind us of who they are and what it is that they do, possibly what type of referrals they're looking for that week or that month or whatever it might be. There is an opportunity then obviously in the meetings then to pass referrals, and that's all documented, as I said. We give each member an opportunity each week to showcase their business, so they get an opportunity to give a 10-minute presentation at a meeting, and all of the members will be there for that, but they will actively invite guests down to the meetings then to hear this member give the 10-minute presentation on their business. So again, helping him or them to increase their business, and also to help market it as well.
And how many members would be in each group?
That depends. We have groups from 15 upwards, and the group that we have here in Cavan Town is currently at 48 members, 48 business people.
Because I was just thinking, if everybody does a 10-minute presentation, and okay, obviously there's one a week,
Sure.
if I wouldn't be long saying, oh my God, here's Colm and he's going to be talking about this a bit, and we're going to do exactly this to what he does, same old. But if it's obviously a lot more than that, you wouldn't have the same kind of people standing up every
That's
day.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And we do provide training in BNI. So we provide a structured environment for business people to be able to support each other with their businesses. So the training would consist of how to how would you generate good referrals for your fellow members, but also how to present. So when you're doing these 10-minute presentations, you can vary them. That type of thing, specific to what it is you may want to talk about. And
it is, because I have been at some business meetings where people, let's all give a short presentation of what we do, and there are some people who can present, and no matter what they present, they can present it easily. There are some people who know their own business so well that they can make what they do interesting, and there are other people who kind of only have a hazy idea what they even do themselves. And I remember doing some training in the past, and they call it the elevator pitch. If you're the logic behind it is, if you're with somebody in an elevator, by the time he gets from floor to floor and he says, what do? You can give him an answer that he gets out of the lift after 30 seconds or whatever, and will know what you do. And in the training to do that, an awful lot of people have actually great difficulty in saying, well, actually what I do is. And is that part of the BNI process?
Yes.
To find out exactly what you, and help you put it, and possibly remind yourself what you do,
Sure, absolutely. I think the best way of doing it really is if you know the benefits of what it is you do. So in other words, the best way of getting it across to people when you're talking about your business is, rather than go into what it is you do in specifics. I do this, or I'm an accountant, and this is what I do, tax and so on and so forth. What are the benefits of what you do? How is that a benefit to me? How does it benefit others? Everybody has a benefit to their business, and if you can get that across in an elevator pitch and also your 10-minute presentation, it's much more easier for people to remember and retain.
So I remember an old trainer, I was going to say years ago, doesn't seem, maybe it was, just doesn't seem that long ago. Yeah. His answer used to be, right, what problem do you solve?
Yes, exactly.
And you had to think, well, no, all I do is, and you were then forced to think, well, okay, well, in my case, I'd sell a wheelchair. Am I just a wheelchair? No, I'm not. What problem does that solve? And it's actually, when you realise yourself what you do, it's then easier to tell somebody else what you do.
Absolutely, and that's the way to start building relationships and obviously to educate people on what it is that you do. If I go to a shop and buy a light bulb, I'm buying a light bulb, absolutely, but the benefit of that is that I'm looking for some light.
Yeah.
If I go to buy a drill or whatever, a drill bit, fine, it does the job, but I'm actually I want to drill a hole somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm not looking for a drill. I'm actually looking for a hole. A drill is the way around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the meetings. I think they start off at 6:45, isn't it?
Yeah, we have breakfast.
Could you just run us through? Everybody gets there at 6:40. Is it a cabin 6:45 or is it a real 6:45? Because I'm involved in Fine Gael up here, and when they have meetings in the evening, it's 9 o'clock sharp. Okay. But even at this stage, I've realised 9 o'clock sharp means tennis, Okay. But when BNI says 6:45, at 6:45, do they say, we'll call this meeting to order, and away you go?
Okay, well, the meetings, we say the meetings start the minute there are two people in the room. That's an old saying that we have there. But the meetings do start at 6:45, and that means that we have 15 minutes of open networking. So rather than just arrive, the meetings actually start at 7, but rather than just arrive at 7 on the dot and just sit in the meeting, then generally members are there at 6:45. They have a cup of coffee, start talking about what's happening, what was happening during the week, so on and so forth, and then the meetings are called to order at 7 on the dot sharp. And start from there.
And then what happens?
Then the chairperson or the chapter director would start the meeting generally with we have an education slot. So every week an education slot would be delivered to the chapter on how to best possibly get referrals, how to best do a 6-minute or 10-minute presentation, those different types of things. And then we immediately go into 60 seconds of members standing up and telling us what it is they do and how we can help them. And so on, we go on from there. So there is the meetings are an hour and a half exactly and finish at 8:30.
8:30. So in theory, that kind of allows you kind of get back on with your day's work.
Yes.
So even the meetings are quite structured. As I said, you started off with I would have called it training. What word did you use? Education. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of the same thing. Sure. So you start off by learning something.
Yes, absolutely. Just refreshing on things.
Absolutely, because we all go to training course and we come out brimful of ideas. A week and a half later, you're thinking, what did I learn?
Yes.
So, and it's only by repetition that you do. So we would have our education slot.
Yes.
And then do somebody stand up and says, I have
it's a positive contribution. So in other words, after the 60 seconds section, then the 10-minute speaker would be called for that week, who would give their 10-minute presentation. And after that, then we have a positive contribution section where each member would stand up and say, I have a referral, or I have a number of referrals for people here in the chapter, and they would just hand out those referrals, and or there may be a testimonial for a fellow member on work that they have done. They may contribute a testimonial on behalf of that person, and so on, and then you'd be surprised how quickly it all goes through. So, and then at the end of it, then it finishes up at 8:30.
Okay, I think we'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll continue discussing with Paul Laird and the work of the BNI.
Pat Short here. You're watching Cavan TV.
Okay, you are welcome back to the Business Enterprise Show. I'm Colm Colgan, and my guest tonight is Paul Laird of BNI. Earlier in the section, we had just discussed what happens at a meeting, but if you wanted to join a meeting, how do you go about joining BNI? Do you just turn up at the door, hand over your money, or do you have to be vetted? Do you have to be recommended? Do you have to be first, seconded? And
yes. Well, first and foremost, if you're interested in coming along to a meeting to see what it is that we do, you can either go to the our website, which is bnine.ie. You can contact the local chapter director in the Breffni chapter here. They meet in the Cavan Crystal Hotel, and we'd be glad to give you those details if you want to contact us later. You're welcome to go down as a visitor and just see what it is that we do. And if you're interested in joining, there is an application process, there is a vetting process, and there is a membership committee appointed for all chapters who will go through the application, go through an interview process with you, just to make sure that you're a right fit for the group and so on. You know, you're good for each other, and that you understand the procedures and that involved with being part of a group like that.
And if I join tomorrow and I don't do everything I'm supposed to do, what sanctions are taken?
Well,
or are there sanctions? Or?
It's really, it's all about building a relationship and building your credibility, okay? And the best way you can do that is to attend the meetings on a regular basis, and start making, that effort to be able to help other people. As I say, it's based on giver's gain. So one of the best ways you can do or get involved in BNI is to help other people generate referrals. In other words, generate referrals for their business, and they in turn then will want to help you, back, and that's what it's all about. We have a very good support process for members. In other words, if they're experiencing difficulty with either getting referrals or giving referrals, any of those types of things, we have a structure in place for that on how we might best help them in those situations. So it's not so much regimented, but there are structures there, absolutely. And,
yeah. Well, I'm just going back to somebody saying, well, I want to increase my business. I saw something somewhere about this BNI. I want to give that a crack. And they go specifically just to get as much business as they can, and they just throw out this giver's gain malarkey. That's for the other crowd. Me, I'm just out for number one, and I want to get as much as I can out of this. And then the rest of the members, after a while, because he flew through the interview, he had impeccable references. Everyone was delighted to have him on. He was a hail fella, well met, as they say. And then it realised, hold on a second, we've all given him lots of referrals. He's done nothing in return.
Yeah.
Is he taken to one side?
Yes.
Has he to justify what he's doing? If he's honest and say, yes, well, I realise what it's about, but actually I'm here for what I can get for myself. Okay. Is that unacceptable behaviour?
Yeah, it's not about, it's about farming, it's not about hunting. And it becomes apparent very quickly within a chapter, or, that somebody may be there just to take. And that doesn't work within the group, because it's based on helping each other. So if there's somebody there just taking, the group may have a level of participation that they require, which is that you help back, you contribute back, and if that's not being done, the membership committee may address that with the member and see how they can help them.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Very positive, I have to say.
Yeah.
Now, is there a social aspect to it?
Yeah, there is absolutely a social aspect to it. The groups generally meet for social nights out, maybe once every couple of months, that type of thing. We also have members' days within the organisation itself, where we would have all of our members in Ireland meeting, on one day of the year. So we would have a big crowd of people coming down. Great opportunity to network and expand their network, throughout the country. At the moment we have close to, I think, about 1,600 members in the whole of Ireland. There's a BNI chapter in almost certainly in every city, but almost in every town as well. And when they all get together, there can be lots of business done and lots of social things too.
Speaking of big events, you're at a big event recently in California.
I just returned from the BNI International Conference there in Long Beach in California.
They know how to do things in California. What was it like?
It was very interesting and very enlightening. It's where we go, I suppose, to share the latest ideas and successes and things that people are doing, because it is all about us learning from each other and how we can best help each other in our businesses. So I came back with some great ideas. I'm looking forward to sharing them with the rest of the people that I look after here in Ireland.
Now, the mix of businesses, I said in training that I've done over the years, there's always somebody has says, this would not work in my business. My business is different. No, I have a different outlook.
Sure.
In Breffni alone, there's a fantastic mix of business.
Yeah, in the Breffni chapter. We also have a chapter in Virginia as well that has just up and running now about 3 months. I think there are about 25 members down there. It'll work for any business. Really, there is no business that it can't work for. The concept is that it's not necessarily about the people in the room. So you will do business eventually with the person sitting in front of you on a one-to-one basis. But it's all about who they know. So in other words, it's about people sharing their best contacts with each other. So, in the Breffni chapter, we have a wide range of businesses from a wedding DJ to an undertaker, including all of the types of businesses in between, a solicitor, an accountant, architect, plumber, tiler, carpenter, all those different types of trades and professions. They all work very well together because there's an old saying we have is that you just never know who somebody might know. And that's the reason it can work so well. So, one of our best sources of referrals can be a florist, because they have so many people coming in and out who would work perfectly with for a DJ, for instance, a wedding DJ for flowers, and then obviously the undertaker for flowers as well. So they would all have a synergy. Yeah, which might surprise a lot of people how they can work together.
Now, you said Virginia opened up there about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
How does a new chapter open up? Is it kind of like the traditional Irish meeting? The first thing on the agenda is the split. Right. Is it a split? Has it reached a certain level and it's time for another one to open up? Is it a sub-branch of it, or what way does a new branch open up?
Okay, well, what happens is in BNI we only allow one trade or profession in each group, so there is no competition. Your seat is secured. You're the only person who has that category in a chapter. Very often, what happens is there are people who would like to join the group, but unfortunately their category is taken and they can't get in. So what we do is, if we have enough people who are interested in starting up a chapter, we will talk to them, we will help them to do that, provide support, and work with them to set up a new chapter. So essentially, the Virginia chapter would be a sister chapter of the Breffni chapter, but made up with very similar people who are categories.
Because you say only one type of business. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there wouldn't be too many DJs. Maybe not as many undertakers. Yes. But I would imagine accountants, printers and webby people, be it web designers. I think there'd be a lot of them in an area. Now, if I was a web designer in Virginia, but there's already one in it, I could hardly go up and start my own chapter because, if you know what I mean. Myself.
No, absolutely, you're right. It would take either that. Certainly we would try and look out for a chapter that might suit you. We would keep you on a list of, for an opening that may appear or come up in any of the chapters. But if there are enough people in an area who are looking to set up a chapter, we will certainly look at that and see if it's viable. And if we can do that, we will. That's exactly what happened with Virginia.
Might end up with a chapter in Ballybor at this stage. So there's 2 in Cavan.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Around the rest of the northeast?
In the Midlands and around the rest of the northeast, we have 24 chapters now, all around the Midlands and Dublin. In the whole of Ireland, again, we would have in the region of about 60 chapters in total. And BNI, while we do have a certain impact around in the economy, it's very much about the local economy. In other words, local business people from around the area getting together to help each other grow their business by word of mouth.
Now, what relationship is the Referral Institute with BNI?
The Referral Institute is a sister company of BNI, and again founded by Dr. Ivan Meisner, and it's basically a training company. So in other words, BNI is not a training company. We're more of a networking company and marketing company. So it's all about marketing your business by word of mouth. The Referral Institute is all about training and how to put a referral marketing plan in place for your business. And they work very well together. There's a synergy there because it's all about how to expand and grow your networks. with the reference.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, anybody watching at the moment, and they're either in Cavan Town or Virginia or other areas, and are interested in BNI, how do they go about joining?
Okay, well, as I said, first and foremost, if they want to go to the website, that's www.bnine.ie.
Which, although we can't see it from here, is behind you.
There,
yeah.
okay, and they can come in there and look at any chapter, and all of the contact details for myself are there, and also the people involved in the chapters. They can look at a chapter and see who's involved, and maybe their category might be opened, and they can make contact directly with me or with the contact on the website. Otherwise, they can just, they can absolutely, they will have to let us know beforehand. They just can't turn up, unfortunately.
Just can't do
So if they would do that.
So check out the website, bnina.ie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make contact with those on board.
Yes.
And just say, look, could I come? And the answer will, of course, be yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Paul Laird of BNI, thank you so much for your time. That's it for this week. I've been Colm Colgan. You have been watching the Business and Enterprise Show. I hope you got something out of it. Do tune in next week. So good luck and talk to you then. Have a great week. Bye-bye.